Hi, I'm Perrin. This is Jarred. And this is Kidtalk.
Kidtalk is where we interview people who make games, design games.
Pretty much anyone who likes games.
Yeah, and today we're interviewing Ross Thompson with the app. Hi.
Hi.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Behind you I see a game that looks like Darth Vader Rising. We have Thanos Rising. Is that actually what it's called? The Darth Vader Rising?
You're pretty close. So this one's called Dark Side Rising, which I probably shouldn't have up, but it's too cool not to. So that's a game we came out with last year, which puts you right in like the Rogue One era of Star Wars, very similar to Thanos Rising and our Death Eaters Rising game, where you're going to be fighting against the Empire to stop them from building the Death Star. So like in Thanos, when he's gathering the gems to form the Infinity Gauntlet, and in the Harry Potter one, where you're fighting against Voldemort to stop him from taking over the locations, very similar stuff where you are fighting against evil, which is super cool.
So you're trying to stop Darth Vader from getting all of the pieces he needs to make the Death Star.
That's right.
Is the Harry Potter one the one by it right there?
So I've got a couple Harry Potter ones back there, right? So I've got, here we go. I have the House Cup one, and I've got the Hogwarts Battle. The Rising one, I think, is actually behind the Star Wars game, but it's very similar, right? So that one has, remember how the Thanos one has them doing the cool pose and everything? Mm-hmm. So the Death Eaters one has Voldemort, and he's casting his spell and being all whoosh. So that one's pretty cool too.
What about Dark Side Rising?
So that one has Darth Vader as like a half chest up bust, and he's got his lightsaber out and everything, which is cool. And then we have two new ones coming out this year too. So we have a Batman one coming out, and we have a SpongeBob one coming out, where it's going to be SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton Rising. And it's going to be Plankton, and he's trying to steal the recipe for the Krabby Patty. And so you're playing as Patrick and Squidward and SpongeBob and Sally, and you're trying to stop him from getting the recipe, while at the same time also trying to make sure you can make Krabby Patties for everybody coming into the Krusty Krab.
That sounds cool.
It should be fun.
But,
and is it like, what's the other Rising?
So we've got, we have Thanos, so we have Harry Potter, then we have Batman coming out this year too.
Who are you fighting against in Batman? Joker?
So that one's a little different, right? So it's not your traditional Batman. This one's playing on kind of the new DC darker universe, where they're doing the Batman Who Laughs, and it's like a Joker Batman multiverse sort of thing, very dark and scary. And he's trying to take over the multiverse in the DC world. So he's gathering all the different dark villains from across the multiverse, so like Dark Flash and Dark Wonder Woman. So you have to get all the heroes to stop him from doing that. Very similar thing where you're using your dice to acquire all your different heroes and allies and save locations from being corrupted. Very fun.
But what's the little statue thing?
So his statue it's the Batman Who Laughs, and it's kind of Batman but Joker, so he has like the white Joker face and the big smile, and then he's got three Robin, like goblin ghoul type characters, so they're almost like undead Robins, and they're like, they're really spooky. But the statue's really cool. It's all well painted. It's got chains on it because they're in this dark universe thing. So yeah.
Does the Batman have chains on it?
He does. Yeah. So because he's holding all the Robin ghouls, because they're like trying to get at you, right? So he's like, I'm holding them back before they go into to get you. So
yeah. How many is there?
There are three of them. So, but it's for all the Batman stuff we've done, I think it's one of the darker ones. We did a Batman game last year where you're playing as all the different villains trying to break out of Arkham too, which is pretty cool.
Sounds like it's like villainous. It's Batman villainous.
I think it's one of the fun things with Batman though, right? Because you can have all the different. His rogues gallery is very impressive, from like Mr. Freeze and the Joker and the Penguin. Do you guys have a favorite Batman villain?
No, not really. I think maybe it would be like Half-Face. Is that his name?
Two-Face. You're pretty close. He does have a face.
Because he has half robot face.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I just call him Half-Face because he has half an actual face.
I mean, you're not wrong. So.
But Two-Face sounds like he would have like
two faces.
Yeah, like two.
Well, he kind of does. If he's holding a coin and then also has his face, there's a coin on the face and then his face. I don't know. Both those work.
Well, then everyone has two faces when they're holding a coin.
Oh, good point.
It would be weird if it was like he had one human face on one side and a robot face on the other side.
That would be pretty weird.
And then like half robot, half human. And
I have a question about your name, the Op.
Okay.
Why did you call it the Op and not like Monop? Because I know it came off of Monopoly. So why didn't you call it something like Monop?
So that's a good question. So we've been around for 26 years now, and for the last 25 years, our name was USAopoly. We started here in San Diego, and for when we first started out, we were doing a lot of the licensed classic games, so like Monopoly, Clue, Risk, Yahtzee, Jenga, and so on. And in the last few years, we've been branching out, doing a lot more than just classic rebrands. We've been doing a lot of like the Rising games we were talking about earlier, and we've been doing more deck building games, a lot more party games like Hues and Cues and Blank Slate and Telestrations. So we wanted to kind of celebrate that and show off in a way that wasn't just Opoly, right? So because when you hear USAopoly, you think, oh, that's the guys that do Monopoly, which while we do a lot of awesome classic rebrands for these games, we're doing a lot more than that, right? So the Op was kind of an internal game that we always called ourselves. There's the Op or Opsters and stuff like that. But Monop, that's one that we could have had on the list. We had a whole list of names we were going through, but the Op is kind of what we stuck with, so it was good.
But why didn't you name it like CL for like classic or something?
That's a good point too, because we definitely do a lot of classic games. We have this whole, like at the studio, if you guys ever come to San Diego, back when we can travel again, I would love to show you guys the Op headquarters. We are like a 3-minute walk from the beach. We're right next to an In-N-Out, which is super cool. But we have this whole archive that has all the games we've ever made for the last 26 years up until now, which is super cool. And it kind of walks you through all the different parts. And then we have this missing parts area where it has all these, like when you, oh my gosh, I'm missing like a component or a thing. If you email us, we'll send you one of those components. So we have a whole walkthrough and you can see how we find all those different things and stuff like that. So it's kind of a neat operation that we do for these different things, which is super fun. So, but the Op is kind of what we stuck with. It's a nice way. It kind of flows off the tongue for a lot of us, and it still has that nice Opoly. Obviously, we're still using the Opoly on there as well, which is cool.
Yeah, we have a few games that say USAopoly.
But they say USAopoly and not Op. Like a few of the games here, they have USAopoly, right?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, right? Because as with rebrands, like we've been known for USAopoly for so long that we're gonna play around with it for a bit. Like on some of those things, you might see the Op, and then it might have games, it might have puzzles, it might have a couple other things. We do a whole bunch of stuff. Because along with all the games that you see that we set for you guys to play, we do corporate games. So we do all kinds of fun things for like LA Lakers, or if people want to get different games there, we do stuff for the Disney parks. So like we were just coming out with a brand new Disney Parks Clue or a Disney Parks Monopoly where it opens up and there's the big castle.
We also have the
Disney
code names. Oh yeah, right, which is super cool. And we also
it looks like it's right above your head, like me.
That one's a different one that I probably should have moved. So that one is I'll show it off, I don't care. So that one is a Disney, speaking of corporate games, that's a Blizzard one we did. So we did Codenames Blizzard, which was super cool. So they wanted to get a bunch of games for their employees. So we do all kinds of fun stuff like that. So, but I've got a bunch of these ones down here too that are pretty neat because we work with Munchkin. Almost, right? So that's all the Munchkins we've done with Steve Jackson games. So we have like our Before Christmas, or one of my favorites, we did Munchkin Adventure Time, which was super cool. So we've done all kinds of cool co-brands. I think it's one of the things we do really well is that we're able to partner with different companies that are in the industry and find a way that we've got licenses that we can bring and then work with them to make fun games. So like coming out later this year, we're going to have a Disney Munchkin, which will be a first one. We're going to be making a Critical Role Munchkin. And then we already came out with, like last year we had Disney Codenames. So it's fun that we can kind of play around with these different stories and bring those to be new games.
Maybe sometime you could do like a Disney version of Thanos Rising or something.
Like maybe Frozen Rising or something?
Ooh, Frozen. Now, who would be the villain in Frozen Rising?
Maybe the giant snowman?
Maybe the giant snowman. Interesting. You don't think it'd be not Klaus? Oh my gosh, I'm thinking, what's the prince's name in Frozen?
Anna?
The evil one. No, it's not Anna. Anna Rising, right? That'd be one that's running around the castle all day, right?
Elsa.
It was Anna and Elsa.
The prince in the first one. Yeah, I'm trying to think what's the evil, because like wouldn't he be the bad guy? Or would it be Elsa? Would she be the villain and then it's about taking her over to your side maybe? I don't know, right?
Yeah, it would be taking her over to your side, and basically for the end of it, you would be kicking the prince off of the boat.
Yeah, you'd have to tell him to let it go, right?
Like you have to save that card for the end, and then everyone who has it just sets it down at the end.
I think that'd be solid. And the dice could be cool little like icicles and ice cubes too, right?
Mm-hmm. And like on the box there could be like the castle, and then you could see like the stairs, and Anna and the other people were walking up it.
That would be super cool. Yeah, we've worked with Disney for a long time. It's really fun. I mean, especially as they pick up more licenses, because Marvel is essentially Disney now, right? So Thanos might as well be a Disney princess, you know, as we're going to do all these things.
Like Disney King.
Disney King, fair enough. I guess Gamora and Nebula would be Disney princesses then, right? So there we go.
But earlier Peyton was saying that he thought you had like a Pokemon monopoly. How many monopolies do you have?
So that's a good question. We do have a Pokemon monopoly. We've done a couple Pokemon monopolies. We've done one for Kanto and we've done one for Johto. So we have one.
Johto?
So in the Pokemon world, we're going to get nerdy here. Ready? So
I like Pokemon.
Yeah, me too. I love Pokemon, right? So they refer to Pokemon by generations, right? So like Gen 1 would be Pokemon's like 1 through 150. And then like Gen 2 would be like 150 through like 235, I think, right? It's all about the starters you have, right? So I started playing when it was Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur, Pikachu, right? Well, what starters did you guys start with?
We actually just started collecting Pokemon cards.
Oh, cool.
We started a long time ago, but we would actually lose if we played, because if you run out of cards, you lose. We had 18 cards, and you're supposed to use 18 cards.
Oh, that's not enough.
Actually, in the beginning, you use exactly 18 cards to set it up.
But now we have more than 100.
Nice. It's all about getting more cards. Yeah, so we did 2 Pokemon monopolies. So essentially, it's based on those worlds, right? So the first Red Blue take place in Kanto, and the second Gold and Silver games take place in Johto. So we decided to phrase the monopolies that way, because that way that's where you're traveling around, as you're traveling to the different gyms and you're getting the different Pokemon from those games.
You might be able to make like a Pokemon Rising.
Oh, that would be super cool.
Oh, like Team Rocket's the bad guys.
Ooh,
yeah.
You could do Giovanni from Team Rocket, or could you have Mewtwo be one too?
There's a movie we've seen called Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he actually is the bad guy in it.
Right. I think he's trying to take over all the Pokemon and turn them evil, right? Or
no, he's trying to make duplicates of the Pokemon.
Oh, that's
better, and then trying to destroy the Pokemon.
Oh.
He's trying to destroy the others. But at the end, they basically just hit each other and both fall over.
Those are
basically they they each beat each other at the same time.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Hmm.
Yes, we've done that for Pokemon. I don't think we've done any other games, but we do have a lot of puzzles, though. So we have some Pokemon puzzles, which has been super cool.
I think, did you do the one like with a bunch of Pokemon making a Pokeball?
That sounds familiar. We do a lot, so I could not tell you exactly which ones. We do about 30, 35 games a year that hit the hobby end. We do a whole bunch of puzzles, all kinds of cool stuff. We're going to be doing dice pretty soon, too. So it's hard to keep track of. Yeah.
Like, so you're going to make special op dice?
Special license dice, for sure.
There's a Pokemon game we have called Pokemon Champion Island.
Oh,
it's
cool.
like, it's part video game. It's like if you land on a Team Rocket, there's a CD, you would push Team Rocket, and it would say like if you have two
electric types, you win.
You would stay there. If you didn't have two electric types, you would go to the closest Pokemon Center.
Because they're making you prepare for trouble and make it double, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what they say. But there was another one. They were like adventuring in a space place. It looked like Team Rocket, like they were in space, and Team Rocket like broke space because the ceiling was like stars, and they broke the ceiling with a giant robot.
That sounds super cool.
It looks weird because it looks like they're in space, and then the giant robot punches and like breaks the universe.
Oh, that's not good.
But it doesn't actually break the universe. It breaks the ceiling that looks like
the universe.
Yeah.
Kind of like your background now, right? Where it's all spacey.
It's not really spacey. It's more just
blue and purple.
Oh, okay.
Awesome colors.
Just blue and purple. Okay, cool.
There are a few colors. There are a few colors that made us turn yellow.
Oh. Well, it looks really good.
If there was somehow a button, like a button with black and then stars on it, and you pushed it, and it would be cool if it like turned to stars and then started playing Star Wars music.
Yeah, Dad, get on that. Just make it happen.
Yeah. And maybe like every once in a while there would be like red just traveling on the hexagons.
That sounds great.
Like
I think he can totally make that. That sounds really good. He should do that.
He's saying no right now.
Oh, okay.
He could make it so like some of them are white and the others are like turned off.
Well, it looks really good. I'm really impressed. It was really cool seeing him build it. So it literally levels up everything. So good job, guys.
I think he's gonna try it.
We can do different colors
like that.
Oh, look at that!
There's
your red.
Do the changing.
Do every single color. Change colors.
That's super cool.
The cool thing is some of them change slower or faster
than others, right?
Sometimes it's just all blue. Kind of like that.
Oh, blue is always good. That's a good color.
It kind of looks like coral in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just noticed that.
Oh yeah.
Is there something called a coral fish?
There's something called a parrotfish.
Oh yeah.
Which eats coral or lives in the coral.
Actually, they eat coral, and coral is actually sand. Basically.
Yeah, that's where sand comes from.
And
they eat. It's actually the poop of parrotfish. That's sand.
Oh, all sand in the world is the poop from parrotfish?
No, like half or something.
Oh, just half. Okay, that's a lot of poop.
And actually,
but the rest of it is just like dirt from mountains.
Got it. Okay.
And actually, sand is quartz.
Oh.
Because quartz are windows. Why did you go into the op, like start working in the op?
Oh, that's a great question. So I've worked in games for probably about 12 years now. I got my start in games. I used to work at the local game store when I was doing that in college. And then I also used to run a big gaming convention here in San Diego called Kingdom Con, which was super cool. And so the op has been local in San Diego for the whole time, which has been great. And Tony Cerbriani, which is one of the coolest guys in the industry. You guys will have to meet him someday. Really, really, really nice. He approached me and was like, hey, do you want to come and work at the op? Because before then, I had worked at some miniature game companies, and I've been doing some freelance work on like Kickstarters and stuff like that, but I hadn't really worked at a place that was as prestigious as the op or as big, right? So I've been here for a few years now, and it's been really cool. The company is fantastic. Everyone is just excited to learn more stuff. We do so many different things, and there's so many different people that are involved with stuff. It's not just a small operation. We've got a lot of people that make stuff happen, that are passionate about games, that are passionate about pop culture, that just want to make sure everything is functioning, So they're a really great company to work at, and there's a lot of nice people that work hard, which has been really nice, and especially right now, because everything is kind of tough, but we're able to work from home and make it happen, and everybody's at the office right now that's there trying to make it ready for when we can go back, which is really good. So it's a family, and I'm really glad to be a part of it.
What games did you like to play as a kid?
Oh, that's also another good question. Awesome. So I grew up playing games. My family was big on playing board games, which was cool. It definitely helped me, like, as I was growing up, and kind of helped for games. So we played a lot of Mousetrap. We played a lot of Grape Escape, which is a game where you're like Play-Doh grapes, and if you don't make it, you get squished. You have to make a whole new one. We played a lot of Aggravation. We played this one game that was it's like the Batman Forever board game, and you had to build this whole trapeze thing, and then you had to shoot bat balls through a bat catapult and get them into the thing. And if you didn't do them, then the people would get turned into mind control brainwashed zombies from the Riddler. So that was super cool. We had this Jurassic Park board game too that was really neat. And then also every Christmas and Thanksgiving, we play Monopoly and Risk. And we still play Risk on Thanksgiving, even now. So, and we have the old classic version that's all the Roman numerals and everything. So,
so you did play op games when you weren't an op?
Well, funny enough, the op game that I played a lot before working at the op was we played a lot of Telestrations in college. So, which I think you guys have that game. But so with that game, it's around there somewhere, right? And so that one's super
Right
cool,
there.
and it's a really good, just kind of like hang out with your friends sort of thing, because you have your word and you draw and you illustrate. So it's a nice just hang out one. We played that for hours. So it was very fun when I had applied to the op, and I was like, oh, it's Illustrations. I played that game a whole bunch. So, which is cool.
What's your favorite game?
Oh man, well, we're gonna go with two here, right? Because like I have my favorite work game, and then I have my favorite not work game.
Okay.
I'll go with not work game first. My favorite not work board game is probably Twilight Imperium.
What?
Twilight Imperium. It is this huge space conquest, political strategy, 4 to 8 hour board game where you start out with your race. Essentially, think Star Wars. Okay, but then Coruscant, the main planet where everything is destroyed. So now the galaxy is thrown into disarray, and all the factions are fighting for power over who's going to control which planets. And so you build up your fleet, you go and take over different planets, and then you battle against other players. You've got hidden objectives. You can build up your tech to get cool, like wormhole jumps or giant space lasers or troops that can fly, and it's all kinds. So that game's
like wormhole guns or something.
Oh yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's like my favorite game, but it always takes a lot to organize and to set up and to play.
And a long time to play.
Yeah, it's like 8 hours, right? So you got to find like, hey, who's got the time to do that? And when you're getting a little bit older, it's hard just to find, hey, we're just going to spend 8 hours to play a board game. It's not as much time as you think. So we've got that. And then for work, it's cool. So we've got so many different games that we've got going on right now. And I'd probably say my favorite game right now at the op would be Hughes and Cues.
That's my favorite game.
It's a super fun game, right? It's got all the colors. It's super good. So I was going to ask you the same question. What's your favorite game, guys? Right?
I just said Hughes and Cues.
Hughes and Cues, right? So
it's a really good game.
My favorite op game is Hughes and Cues, but my favorite game is I don't know.
You don't know. There's too many games to pick, right?
I know. There's like thousands of games.
Yeah, we have
There are.
almost 100 games.
So what was the last game you guys played?
I don't remember.
Mission to Planet X.
Mission to Planet X.
We were about to play Mind last night.
Oh, the Mine's fun.
Don't you?
We weren't able to play it, but
not
we
the
were
Mind,
about to play
Medium.
last night.
Medium.
Oh yeah, Medium.
Oh, Medium, also a good game. Yeah.
There's a lot of good like try setting down the same thing.
When we were setting up, we were basically playing Mind Medium.
Cool. So if you could pick any license or movie or TV show or cartoon for the op to do a game with, what would you want to see?
I don't know.
Maybe. I haven't watched this, but it's a game I have on my computer. You could make something like Pac-Man Rising.
Ooh, that'd be a cool one.
Like all 4 like ghosts are in like one statue, and you're trying to stop them from. Maybe they're trying to collect all the dots before you.
No, like
that'd be a good one.
you're them because there's only one Pac-Man.
Oh, so Pac-Man's the bad guy, and you're playing as the ghosts.
No, you're the bad guy, and he's the good guy trying to stop you.
Oh, okay. I was thinking we'd put a twist on it.
Like maybe that would be kind of like a villainous.
Or you'd be like,
Just like that.
like you're fighting him, and then he starts fighting you.
But I feel like it would be like all 4 ghosts are trying to collect all the fruits, and you're trying to collect the fruits before them. Or maybe you could make like another Pokemon game.
Okay, Pokemon's always good.
Like I said, Pokemon Rising earlier.
I did.
Oh,
I think you both did. I mean, you're not wrong. That'd be a good one.
Maybe it would be like there's a bunch of like evil Pokemon, and you're the Pokemon trying to stop them from.
Ooh.
Maybe. Oh yeah, Mewtwo. You're trying to stop Mewtwo from maybe making. Well, there's this cartoon show called do you remember what it's called? The Pokemon show?
Yes. We usually just call it the Pokemon show.
Well, in it there's Z crystals. Like there's a bunch of these things that like amplify Pokemon's power a bunch.
You have Z rings and Z crystals, and it's in the
So you gotta collect the Z. The Kanto region. There we go. Look at that, right? There we go.
It's a lowland region.
Lowland region. There we go.
It's a new region.
New region. Cool.
Okay, but maybe you can make it so like Mewtwo's trying to collect all the Z crystals, and you're trying to stop him from collecting them.
And you like, if you get one, then you can like use it on him, and he has like 10 lives.
10?
Yeah, he's pretty strong. He says
you guys are rocking it on this game design boat.
He said
we're making games actually.
He says
are you really?
Trying to.
He says in Pikachu Detective that no one can beat him.
We beat Thanos.
So?
Yeah.
We beat Thanos the first time we played.
That's good. That game was hard.
In the movie, it doesn't mean you can't beat. He said you can't be beat.
What? That just makes it more compelling, right? Yeah.
He says that you can't beat him. I keep saying he can't beat you.
Well, if you're Mewtwo and he's Mewtwo, he can't beat you and you can't beat him.
Unless you were just like, okay, I'll use this new power.
That's how it works. Exactly how that works.
Our mom told us that you had a hobby. Can you tell us what that is and why you chose to do it?
Yeah, I can do that. That's funny. This is like the third time I've been asked that question too this summer. It's been pretty fun. So I do a medieval reenactment hobby called the SCA. So I dress up and wear medieval armor, and I wear medieval outfits. And back when we could gather, I would go to fighter practice like once or twice a week. I actually, before we started, I went and grabbed one of my helmets. So just super cool. So it's got ravens on the front there, if you can see it. So yeah, so I'd wear this and I'd go out and fight and do all this cool stuff. So it's been around for like 50 years.
Our mom told us that you painted.
Oh, that!
figures.
Oh, I do that too. Yeah, I'm a big nerd. So that's what we're getting at there. Sorry, I thought you were going off on that. I've got a bunch of hobbies. Like I just don't have free time. So
That was the one I was talking about.
yeah, it's all good, right? So yeah, so I paint miniatures. So I do a lot of Warhammer stuff. It's a big hobby of mine. I've been playing Warhammer since band in high school, right? So I was a super cool kid in high school and played Magic the Gathering and Warhammer. And so I just finished painting a big army for Warhammer, which is super fun. So I've been hosting hobby hangouts with my friends on Zoom over a couple nights and some weekends, and we're painting up stuff. So I just finished painting a big army, which took since March. So it was a nice kind of a cool way to I think I painted like 100 miniatures and some big dragons and stuff like that. So that was super cool.
Why did you choose to do hobbies like that?
Well, because gaming is fun, right? And I like to make sure that I'm keeping up with it. And I enjoy gaming too. And even though I work in games, I find it important to make sure that I still play games because I have a lot of friends that do that. I've got friends that do that I do board games with. I have friends I do I play D&D twice a week. I've got friends that I do Warhammer stuff with and miniature painting. I've got friends I do medieval stuff with, right? So it's for me, I think what's really important is the community, right? That's where I get to hang out with friends and we get to share in our mutual things we enjoy. And it's a nice kind of not like forced environment, right? Like we're all gathered for our specific thing, you know? And so a couple of my friends that I've known since elementary school and middle school, we still gather now and still hang out online playing games and doing stuff. So we've been friends since we were, in 5th grade and we're still hanging out. And even now when we're in our 30s, it's still cool. And we've been friends for that long. And, one of my buddies just got his PhD, but here we are still painting miniatures and doing stuff, right? So we can look back and always joke about how we used to play in the garage on a ping pong table with, felt terrain and stuff like that. But now we're like, oh man, look at this cool terrain piece I just got and this big thing there. So I like that games provide a community, and it doesn't always have to be about playing games too. I think there's so many different parts of it, right? From going to conventions to the reviewer community. It's been really cool seeing all of that form. I think you guys have met a lot of awesome people over the last few months, doing that, just hanging out on different streams and doing stuff. So gaming is I know we say the gaming industry and we always think, oh, there's a publisher, retailer selling stuff, but there's so much more than that. And it's gaming hits everybody. And I think a big thing for me is that everyone's a gamer, they just don't know it yet. So gaming is a big part of my life. It always has been. So I'm glad that I can help share that. So.
And also I have something that I don't know if it would be a hobby, but I like doing it. I like reading books.
Oh, awesome.
Is that a hobby?
Totally is a hobby. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's kind of a hobby.
No, it's totally a hobby.
I like reading books and building stuff.
That's pretty good. So what kind of books do you like reading?
What kind of books is who reading?
What kind of books do you like reading?
It's like...
I like reading mythology books, like books on
mythology,
dragons.
Dragon.
Cats.
Cats are important.
Dragon, it's warriors. It's cat books.
I have 4 sets. Each of them have 6 books, and it's called Warriors. There's cats. They're warriors.
Oh, cat warriors, awesome.
Some are like Silvertail or.
Yeah, I think there is Silvertail.
And then Blue Star.
So if you like cats that are warriors, you might want to pick up this book. It's a role-playing game, but it's called Monarchies of Meow. And it's a D&D style book, but everybody is cats. And then it's in a world called Pugmire, and which has it's dogs versus cats, but they're all adventurers. Mm-hmm. It's kind of fun.
It's more cats versus cats and cats not liking 2 eggs.
Oh, okay. Well, oh, got it.
They're like in the forest, and one of them actually he kept getting food from people, and then he got taken.
And there's even a dog.
Yeah, there's like a dog army in one of the books.
One of the books, there was a dog.
That's pretty rough.
I think it's Firestar.
He starts his, just call him Firepaw.
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 He was
Awesome name.
he jumped over a hole when there was a dog army chasing him, and then the dog army fell in the hole.
Oh, it's a big hole.
That's what he did to beat them.
It was in a river, Peyton.
Oh.
Same
How
thing.
did he jump that far?
His name's Firepaw. He can do whatever he wants.
I guess he could make fire out of his paws.
Yeah, he's got little toe beans doing his thing. That's all good.
They just called him Firepaw. Have you ever designed or thought about designing any games?
Oh man, so it's interesting, right? Because I've been in games a long time, and I like playing games, and I like working in games. I am not a game designer. I've thought about designing games, but I really enjoy promoting my friends' games, right? So I'll be involved in some of the playtest process, and I've helped run some playtesting where we'll get the game and we'll start working through it, and I'll help coordinate a lot of the playtest groups and the feedback that way. But I'm not a game designer. That being said, I love hanging out with game designers as they're talking about different games and stuff. And that's been super cool because everybody has like which mechanics they enjoy and how they like the philosophy behind designing games. But my brain is much more toward the, hey, let's start working on how we can promote it. What about you guys? Have you guys designed any games yet? You kind of said earlier you were working on a game.
We're actually like in the middle. I'm trying to make the playtesting version of it. Like I already made the board with cardboard. It's called Cardboard, so I thought it would work.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm working on 2 games right now.
Oh.
I made a little box to put my meeples in. Daddy helped me make a little box to put my meeples in, and then I made the board for one of my games. I haven't thought of a name.
It's okay.
And then I'm making a game called Forest. It's like you're trying to make cabins to make your forest with, and then whoever makes 2 cabins into forests first wins. It's like the story behind it is you want people buy their land, like someone gives them land, and then they all want to see who can make their forest first. And
That's
they
really
need to make cabins to live in while they're making their forest.
The game I'm designing is based off of the Rick Riordan books, which is also Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
I just really like that mythology, so I'm making a game not based on it, but inspired by it.
It's called Mythology Wars. He has how many? 5?
5.
Like 4 expansions. Not expansions. I can't say that.
I actually have 1 expansion and 4 like game, like you can play them by themselves, but they can also expand the game.
That's super cool. So, so if you guys aren't aware, ShyTag, it's a convention that's in Chicago. They have a kids game design contest that you can enter stuff for, and that's a really big game design and toy show. So I'll send you guys the link afterwards. But it's really, really cool because they have all this. I think they're doing a winter challenge too. So maybe you can get your games ready for that. But it's all kinds of cool stuff. Last year, these 2 girls won with their game, and it was doing really well. So it's kind of a neat way to get your games out there and get some good feedback too. So that's awesome. Always be designing, be creating. I think that's fantastic.
But you have like 5 things by you that I want to ask about.
Go for it.
You have like 3 statue things, something that looks like a button and a sword.
Yeah, so okay, we'll do the sword first. So it's from my medieval stuff, right? So I was knighted a couple years ago. So every knight needs a sword. So I've got a cool sword that was forged by a friend of mine which is great. It keeps the Raven thing going on there, which is super cool. I love Dragon Ball Z. I'm a big anime nerd. So I've got Goku going Super Saiyan with the 4-star Dragon Ball, which my sister got for me, which is super fun. The big dragon back there, that's called Kang the Implacable, which is from Simon, back when they used to do miniatures before they really did board games. I worked there like 10 years ago, and I used to call him Kang the Implaceable because he's like 2.5 feet tall. He's a big dragon, so he doesn't fit anywhere. I had to hold him, not that one, but I had to hold the studio one in my lap as we drove from Atlanta to Boston for PAX East one time. That was really comfortable. I loved it. It was great. And then I've got Spike from Munchkin. They did a cool Funko thing, which is great.
See him. He's in the
I know it's all bright. I'm sorry. Here we go. We have Spike. Anyway, he's got a buzzsaw on his Work Be Gone thing. And then I have my cool fuzzy pelican. It's for the medieval. This is a pelican, right? So he's got his cool little beak and his little stuff, and he goes. And so in the SCA for the medieval hobby that I do, there's 3 different paths you can go down. You can go down a fighting path, an arts and sciences path, and a service and volunteer path. So I did the fighting. I was knighted. And then recently, back in February, I was asked to become a pelican, which is like a thank you so much for your service. You've been rocking it on that. So there's a lot more to that, but it's a very, very big honor. So they give you an awesome little plushy pelican when you get that. So which is
like an evil pelican.
It's not. I don't know if he's evil, but some people might say that. So, but that's pretty good though. So yeah, I like my toys, but it's funny because if you think about it. I got a couple other things that you guys might like on front of my. I've got this cool little Bulbasaur, which is adorable, but he's got a jack-o'-lantern instead of the normal little thing there.
Oh, he's a Halloween Bulbasaur.
He's a Halloween Bulbasaur, right? So that's pretty cool.
Does his thing open up?
It does open up, and you could put a little light in there too if you wanted, which I just haven't done yet. But yeah, it's kind of fun.
I think you should do the light, you can push the top down and it will turn on.
That would be great. My buddy 3D printed it for me, so it's pretty hardcore resin, but I could do that.
And then is there another thing in front of it? Like
I've got a cool crunch bar that was for our Die Hard game that was pretty neat. And so instead of it being a crunch bar, this is from our Gen Con promotion we did last year. We had this whole safe vault you had to crack at the booth. And if you could solve it, then you got a copy of the game. But if you didn't, then we gave you this really yummy candy bar. So, which is always fun. And then I've got, if we're going to go into my desk things, I've got this cool craft dice I would order from somebody. And so I have all these D6s, but they've got ramen noodles in them. So that's kind of funny. So, yeah, I like having my little tchotchkes here at the desk and stuff like that. How about you guys? I know you guys don't have a whole bunch of stuff there, but do you guys collect Legos, or do you guys build hobby sets? You said you build stuff for what kind of stuff do you build?
I just got some marble tracks for my birthday. It's called Gravitrax. I actually got it a few days ago, and it has track A through track I. I'm already in my own tracks.
Oh, that's great. So there's marble racing, or is it?
It's marble racing.
Oh, awesome.
Once we used Legos and Gravitrax. Something cool, put a Lego on something so the marble would hit the Lego and then go on the real track, and the real track would break.
Yeah, It's it hits the Lego, which moves the track, but it's able to still go down the track, and then the track falls over.
That's super cool.
I was thinking something, we made a catapult so that marble would go down, hit the catapult, and then the part that the marble was just on, the part it races on, that part would flip over.
So that launches marble.
Right, that's great. So
but then
I grew up with a brother and a sister who I still hang out with, and my brother, when we growing up, we totally built Hot Wheels tracks. and then do all the cool loops and everything and try to get, so it wasn't not the same as marble racing, but I bet if we could have marbles, we would have done that same thing. But we would build all kinds of cool Hot Wheels tracks with jumps and loops and everything. So
I would actually be able to make a Hot Wheels track with this because it's like the perfect size for wheels.
Oh, is it? That's cool.
So I just have to like do 2 of the marble tracks by each other, and a Hot Wheel could like go down.
But it would be weird if it was like
it would totally pull it off. That'd be great.
Like it would stop, and then there was like a little ramp that made it go sideways, and it went on its side, and then like you used something to push it back over. So it's like. But I don't have a Hot Wheels track. I have it's like a engine full of Hot Wheels cars.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
But we found one track for it. We think it's for it, but it might not be. Because it wasn't in it, but there's something you can push a wheel up and something will fall down, and then cars will come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
2 cars will come out of it.
There's a board game called, I think it's called Gaslands, and you can buy upgrade pieces to put on your Hot Wheels cars and then play a board game with your Hot Wheels cars.
Showing us your sword reminded me of your helmet.
Yeah.
Are you able to put that on really quick?
I can't put on the helmet because I have my headphones on. But bear with me. We'll do it. Hold up.
You can take your headphones off.
No, he can't hear us, Peyton. Can you still hear us?
Nope, we can't hear you.
Well, he can kind of hear us because he can hear us.
Your feature picture now, right?
Oh, man, I haven't worn that since March.
I actually wouldn't do that because when I take my headphones off, my ears hurt.
Oh, yeah. I wear headphones pretty much all the time. So
It is on my ears for so long, it makes my ears hurt really.
I know. I hear you. I'm in the same boat, man. At least you got hair to keep your
When I look
head safe.
When I look in the mirror, it looks like my ears were just like flaming on fire because they're so pink.
Reminds me of Iron Man paw.
What?
Reminds me of Iron Man paw. Maybe you could make a cat rising thing, like where there's an evil cat trying to collect stuff and you're a bunch of cats trying to stop him.
So we did a cat game last year.
Or there's a giant dog that you're
trying to stop.
Because that's what Super Cats is. Did you guys get a copy of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have it.
Yeah. Awesome, Super Cats.
We tried playing it with 2-player, but it's not good with 2-player because you can do the same thing and not get it. But usually I just like, you're doing that, so I'll just do something else, like 0.
Yeah, that one's fun. That one's super fun. We had one last year called Furry Foodies, where you were cats. It was Furry Foodies, and you were cats and their tiles, and you're pushing food off the kitchen counter as your cat tiles. But one of the silly things with the box was when you opened it up, the game tray was fuzzy.
Maybe you could make like a minion rising thing.
Oh, a minion rising.
Like
that'd be kind of cool.
Like the spy guy that he throws the Rubik's Cube and the Rubik's Cubes.
Do you guys like Rubik's Cubes?
We're trying to figure one out. We've been trying to do it since last year.
Nice. Yeah, we just announced a whole partnership with Rubik's Cube. So we're going to be doing stuff with them pretty soon.
I feel like if you started with the Rubik's Cube correct, you could easily like undo it and then figure out how to do it again.
Like,
You sure? I don't know.
Something that's like
you can undo it and then do it backwards.
You need to undo this, and you'd just be like, "This is easy. I'm done."
But it's like you could just do what you did to like make it like a puzzle. You could just do that backwards.
Or it would be easy if you were just like, "I'm done." Like
that would be easy, but I don't think Rubik's Cubes are that easy.
Like turn it one way, and then you're just like, and turn it back, and it would be exactly.
Well, if that's cheating.
Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, and any from the ones that I've already asked? Interesting. What games are you guys looking forward to playing later this year?
Maybe Telestrations?
Ooh, that's a cool one. Good answer.
I think all of them.
I really want to play Beat That. It's over there. I don't think you can see it.
Right.
I can't see it, but that's cool though.
Are we able to grab it? And
Oh,
then
you're not able to reach it. I'm not
there's
either.
also Honga over there.
Right
Okay.
I
there.
can't see it.
We haven't unboxed it. It's from Hala.
It's a lot of
I
games
also-
you guys got going on, huh?
I also want to play
We have
Mountains,
1, 2,
Karuba.
3, 4,
I want to play
5,
every game that we haven't played yet.
How many games do you guys think you've played this summer?
There's like
50?
Yeah, that's a lot of games.
100.
100's a lot too.
What's that game in the corner right here by our shoulder? Like with
That
the
one?
skeleton?
That one. So that's Friday the 13th, Horror at Camp Crystal Lake. So it's based off a very scary movie where there is a guy tracking you down at the camp. And so you are playing classic 80s movie characters and you have to escape as he's tracking you down. It's a push your luck game. So you're drawing into the bag to pull out different items. We did one last year with a very similar game engine, but you were Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So you were mining, you were dwarves that you were mining, and so you were trying to go in and pull out different gems to get different stuff, which was super cool.
What's your favorite thing about working in a board game career?
So I would have to say that it's getting to work with creative and passionate people and then meeting new people. You are always meeting new people when you work in board games, which is super cool. I mean, I get to meet you guys because we get to work in board games, right, and do all that kind of stuff. So that's just the kind of stuff that I really enjoy. It's getting new people, all about the community, and we all get to have a good time. Like the whole point of playing board games is to have a good time. So it's just good stuff.
I feel like one of my favorite parts of it, if this actually happens, I get to play a bunch of new games.
Oh yeah.
You have to play test them to figure out if it's okay. I think that would be my favorite part. I'd have to play test it, and I'd have to play it a lot. Thanks for letting us interview you. This was really fun.
I enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you for having me on. It was really good to chat. This was kind of fun just to hang out and do this. Thank you so much for having me be a part of your show.
Thanks for hanging out with us on this episode of Kidtalk.
Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on any future episodes.
See you later. Bye.